Good morning, everyone. We're having a little different type of service today, so hang on to your seats for something new. But my name's Linda, and I'm your chairperson today. I'm also your Earth Care cheerleader, and we are coming near the end of April, which has been our Eco Challenge Earth Care month, and I have thought I'd mention a few of the things that we've done. Well, it turns out it fills a whole sheet for this month of April. So I want you to reflect on, in this last month of April, how have you been feeling regarding Earth? How have you been feeling regarding your love of Earth? Has anything changed for you? Well, maybe I'll start with the poetry, because poets, they really know how to put their love of things in a few words. And this one came from Emily, who sent an email to Fred and I. And David White is one of the best poets ever. And he wrote, "I want to walk through life amazed and inarticulate with thanks. I want to know when I lean down to the lilies by the water and feel their small and perfect reflection on my face. I want to know what I am and what I am involved with by loving this world as I do. I want to be found by love. I want to come alive in the holiness of that belonging." I feel that's so reverential. It just shifts us into a feeling of love and spirit. Well, if that's not enough, one more poem. Also from a great poet, Mary Oliver, from her book Devotions. North Country, kind of suitable for where we live. In the North Country now it is spring, and there is a certain celebration. The thrush has come home. He is shy and likes the evening best, also the hour just before morning. In that blue and gritty light, he climbs to his branch or smoothly sails there. It is okay to know only one song if it is this song. Hear it, rise and fall, the very elements of your soul. Shiver nicely. What would spring be without it? Mostly frogs, but don't worry. He arrives year after year, humble and obedient and gorgeous. You listen, and you know you could live a better life than you do. Be softer, kinder. And maybe this year you will be able to do it. Hear how his voice rises and falls. There is no way to be sufficiently grateful for the gifts we are given. No way to speak the Lord's name often enough, though we do try. And especially now, as that dappled breast breathes in the pines and heaven's windows in the North Country, now spring has come, are opened wide. So we look out our windows and we see at our bird feeders the thrushes that have returned, the finches, the house finch, the yellow finch. Oh my goodness, such handsome boys. We go for our walks in the marshes over on the Wyowash Trail between Oshkosh and Hortonville, and we see the nesting geese and ducks of a breed we've never seen before. So, what have we been doing here at Unity of Appleton this last month with our Earth Care Eco Challenge? Oh my goodness, I thought I better write them down. We have attended documentaries, The Bad River, The Tribe, Common Ground at the Sisters of St. Agnes last week in Fond du Lac. We will be hosting Kiss the Ground here Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. Fred, yesterday in his work over at the Free Market, passed out information on Kiss the Ground Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and met a homeschooler. And that homeschooler is interested in coming and promised to share the information with their homeschool group. I've got the popcorn. I promised to vacuum after. Fred has arranged for us on June 11th to tour the Outagamie Recycling Center. More to come on that. The Earth Care Friends have attended Robin Wall Kimmerer's talk to us at UW Oshkosh. We've been reminded of her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, where she teaches us about this very important concept of relationship called reciprocity, where it's not just the taking from the earth, not just a reaping of the resources, the natural resources of the earth, but it's a giving, it's a reciprocity. She talks about corn would not exist if it were not for humans. We actually, as humans, can do good to the earth. Can you believe that? The same with sweetgrass. Sweetgrass thrives when humans pluck it or cut it. It actually does better than when it's left alone. So that is a concept that her students, she's a professor, did not even consider that humans can actually help the earth. The Unity of Appleton has a team of 7 of us that will be joining the local Fox-Wolf Watershed Alliance cleanup next Saturday. I'm so proud of us. I mean, we are really stepping up. Our hearts are full of love. Next Sunday is our 3rd annual plant sale. So bring your nice warm jackets if it's a little chilly out there, and be really willing to look at our tomatoes and flowers and peppers that we've started from seeds, and bring some home. And Cindy has stepped up with our call for wishing to have a rain barrel to collect the water off of our roof to better water our gardens this year. So instead of quadrupling our water bill, well, it's actually water usage. Our bill only went up $100, but in the summer, we quadruple our use of water. So anyway, that's all good news. And I was so inspired after watching Common Ground that I did join a local community-supported agriculture. So I'll be getting 8 veggie deliveries this coming summer. Anyway, let's conclude with how we started our welcome. Think about how things have changed in April. Feel in your gut, in your heart, what you have experienced in this beautiful month of April in your love for the earth. It's natural to take care and protect what we love. Simply be open to that love. Okie doke. Now comes the hard work for me, and that is to figure out what's next. And Paige has done a great job of helping me here. So we're actually going to look at our announcements right off the bat. We're doing things kind of opposite. So if we can look at that, our ongoing book studies at Unity, Resilience meets on Sundays right after service at 11:30 upstairs. The Way of Effortless Mindfulness, Mondays at 6 o'clock here. And A Course in Miracles Made Easy, Fridays here, 1 to 2, and Tuesdays on Zoom, 7 to 8. I'm not sure what's happening this Tuesday then because of the Kiss the Ground being here. I know it's a Zoom.
Still going to go ahead because
Okay,
for those of us who aren't around here,
sure.
we're not going to be able to come to
Okay,
the
okay.
so
So, okay, and I apologize to Carmen in advance for that conflict, but that will continue. Okey doke, next slide, please. Upcoming Unity events. Tuesday is the Kiss the Ground, if I didn't mention that before. Saturday is our Fox Wolf Watershed Cleanup, and we have a team of 7. If you want to get in on the team, please see me afterwards, and I'll see if there's any more spots left. And then we're also promoting our September Peace Day event with a table at the Wisconsin Grassroots Network's 15th Annual Grassroots Festival, which is 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Lawrence University's Warch campus. And please sign up at the Connect and Serve table for any of these great events. And then also I want to mention is next Sunday, May 5th, is our annual plant sale. Okay, and if you would speak along and share with me our vision. Vision, a world powerfully transformed through shared spiritual awakening. And our mission, advancing the movement of spiritual awakening, transformation. And our values, abundance, acceptance, community, diversity, integrity, joy, and love. And we celebrate our children. Unity of Appleton sees the divinity in all children and nurtures their unfolding spirituality. We're going to move into our affirmation of prosperity at this point. So this is a time when those of us who feel the unity of Appleton is our spiritual home, we practice putting spirit first in our financial life. This practice prospers the spiritual community we love and supports our own spiritual growth and prosperity. Please give whatever amount Spirit guides you to give, whether it is in person or electronically. Whatever that amount is, take that gift into your heart and bless it with your love. Feel free to bless the plate as it passes by. Let yourself feel grateful to God in you as your one source. Then please join in our affirmation of prosperity. Unity of Appleton is alive with the energy of spirit, in the flow of divine abundance, and radiant with unlimited possibilities. And our celebration of giving and receiving. Divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I joyfully give and willingly receive. I give in love, and I trust God as my source. Oh, this is you. Oh, keep going, Karen. You keep going. It's funny we don't have music. We could hum a tune. Oh, there we go. We got one. Hi. Thank you all for your presence here and for your gifts and your love of unity and connecting with Spirit and sharing that with the greater world. And so it is. Thank you. Just one other quick announcement before the daily word, and that is thank you for your gifts, truly. And I wanted to give back to you as well, especially in the name of Earth Care. And so I have a little, we have been having you put your names in for a drawing. Well, you, everybody, consider your name drawn. And at the end of our discussion today, I'll lay out some gifts, and if one calls to you, please take it home. I just ask that they don't end up in the landfill, and if for any reason you don't like them at some point, pass them on to someone else. Okay, thank you. Our daily word for today is inner peace. I call upon the infinite peace of God within. I find peace in the beauty around me, a clear day, flowers swaying in the breeze, a gently flowing stream. All reveal the presence of God and reflect my inner nature. Lasting peace resides within my mind and heart. If that peace is temporarily disturbed, if I am feeling out of sorts about my life or the situation of a dear one, I draw upon my strength and stability by turning away from outer circumstances and go within. I quiet the chatter of my mind, perhaps thinking of one of my peaceful places, imagining the breeze caressing my face and hearing the trickling stream. In this quiet state, I connect with my source and begin to feel a settling calmness. I consider my life from this higher perspective and remain centered and serene no matter what is happening in my life or in the world. And this comes from Peace Be With You, John chapter 20, verse 26. And if you would say and speak aloud with me, inner peace. I call upon the infinite peace of God within. We've come to our part of the service where I get to introduce the speaker, today's speaker. Our speaker for today is Reverend Liesa Chase, an ordained unity minister, who is passionate about family and facilitating spiritual exploration for people of all ages. Reverend Chase is centered in prayer and engaged in service. She leads Unity of Dayton's prayer team, is a member of Unity Urban Ministerial School Scholarship Committee, and is a student advisor. In her youth ministry career of 20-plus years, Reverend Chase served the Great Lakes Unity region as their youth and family training and event director, and was the Youth and Family Ministry Director at Unity of Dayton. She has received the Distinguished Youth Service Award from Unity Worldwide Ministries. Reverend Chase encourages people to expand their spiritual knowledge and integrate it into their daily lives. And I want to say that Cindy and I both know Reverend Liesa Chase from Unity, the YOU gatherings. So she's truly all that I've just read, truly engaged and so approachable, and we're so happy to have her here today. Please welcome Reverend Liesa Chase.
Hi guys, thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. I appreciate that. We're going to begin with a meditation, thinking about the daily word that was just read. So I'm going to invite you to go ahead and settle in for a short meditation. We're going to take these ideas that were in our daily word about inner peace and draw upon our power of strength to turn away from any inner or outer circumstances that distract us. I invite you to breathe in and out of your heart center, connecting with that space, the place where love resides. Ask your heart, where is the beauty around me? Where is the beauty around me? That lasting peace resides in my mind and my heart. And I connect my heart and mind. Breathe in through your crown and down into your heart. And affirm, a cord connecting my mind and heart is formed as I breathe in through my crown and allow that energy to go down into my heart, connecting my mind and heart. I have dominion over my thoughts. And so I think of a peaceful place of beauty, a place that is sacred. And in this place, I am calm, I am connected with my source. Here I can consider my life from this perspective of being centered and connected with my source. And so in the silence, I call upon that infinite peace of God within and experience inner peace in the silence. I am hopeful. I am rested and ready to live life from a higher perspective. Peace is within me wherever and whatever I am doing. And so it is. Amen. Well, thank you for that time of meditation together, and we'll move into a message that's going to be followed by an activity. So we'll start out here with that. And it's Mayday, Mayday to Mayday, and how to go from distress to celebration. So I have a story for you that shows what I've done recently and how I've done this. You know, right after President's Day, I had just had a weekend with my family and was enjoying that time away, being in a remote location, you know, hiking, playing games, did a little bit of shopping, we ate well, did all those types of things. Well, you know, so I just got off of that weekend and had that lovely time. And I became a spinning top, just like that. Yeah, it doesn't take much sometimes. I wasn't the only family member traveling at the time. My mom was also traveling. She took a trip to visit my sister, who lives in Florida and North Carolina. She was in both locations. And so we got home from that trip, and she had gotten home, and it was just a few days after that that Mom gave us a call, and that's when the adventure began. Mom says, I'm moving. Now, perhaps like me, you guys are thinking, oh, she's moving to Florida, she's moving to North Carolina, being with my sister. No, She said she wants to move to rural Ohio. I'm thinking, huh? What? She currently lives in a town close to a big city, but in a town that we grew up in, that my sister lives in, and my brother lives in, that her grandchildren are at, that her great-grandchildren are there, and she wants to move. And we're like, huh, what's going on? So I'm not the only top spinning. My siblings are too. But we seek a little more information from her, and we find out, that she's looking for a slower paced life, and does want not to be where she's at. I think it's great because she's in this little condo. She's already cleared out the family's home and all this stuff. It looks great for me on the outside. But for her, it wasn't the right fit. So we knew she's going to move. So we get behind the idea of her moving, but we influence where. Instead of being an hour from everybody in the family, we suggest she ends up moving near me. Well, that was another little twist to my top. Wasn't quite ready for that. I've had 40 some years, say since I was like in my 20s, that ever thought or entertained this idea, that mom was living next to my sister and she had been there for, I don't know, well, off and on, but nearly all our lives and all her life too, nearly, since she was in her 20s. And so I was just surprised and taken off guard. And mom's idealizing what it might be like moving, what the houses are going to be like. She's like entertaining the idea of moving into this cute little Cape Cod with a basement. And I'm thinking, no. And right now, she's able to do all these things. I'm thinking, I don't want to move you again. You got to be able to at least live on the first floor if you have to. So I'm like pulling hair out, working with this, and um, talking with my siblings lots, and just trying to figure out what's going on. And so I do reach out to a few of my prayer partners that I meet with on a regular basis, and one of them provided me with a wonderful affirmation that may I find a new home at the right time, at the right price, and may the sale be beneficial to all concerned. So I start getting my head wrapped around the idea of mom moving and that she'll be close to me. And I'm thinking, it's a great time because I'm retired. I have the time to be with her. This is going to be good. My other sister's just wrapping up a degree, a master's in social work. She's not done. She's busy. So this is going to work out good. But the stress still builds because I'm getting consumed with looking for a house with mom. It's every other day, an all-day affair. She lives several hours away. It takes 3 hours just to get here and to go back. And then there's time looking at the houses. There's time looking at them online. There's time reading about them. There's time driving by. My life is just, topsy-turvy now. And I realize that as the stress is building, I need even more help. The stress and distress is increasing. And so I send out a call. I really ask many, many more people to pray with me. I call Silent Unity. I've sent out that Mayday, right? Okay. But then it's like, wait a minute. If I've asked all these others to support me in prayer in this situation for a family, I need to be doing a little more work myself. I can't ask all these others for prayer and not do my part. And so what's my part? So I look at that. My part is to stop complaining and moaning and whining about anything, and to start listening to my own intuition. And when I did that, the ideas started to come. But as I followed them and put action behind them, I realized that I was releasing that logic part. Logic's got good and it can do that, but it doesn't need to figure out everything. And so my actions are saying, I trust God. God's got this. Yes. And as soon as I begin to do my part, guess what? It gets better. But some of the things that I did is that I released mom's old home. Instead of referring to it as her house, her home, I start just using the address to refer to it. It's easy for my mind to start spinning downward with one thought, so I need things to interrupt that. So I turned on my cell phone to Spotify and start playing positive music, so that I have those thoughts running in my head versus getting on that treadmill of worry. Yeah. Well, over time we did find a place, put an offer out on the house, and it was a great fit for mom, but it wasn't accepted. And so it's like, okay, if this house that I thought was so great for mom isn't it, then I'm claiming the something better. And so that's what it said. Okay, God, yep, universe, if it's not this, then it's something better. And in my mind, what was that something better? But it was a home in my neighborhood, very close to me, that was a single flat story that had the attached garage, because, oh, we were looking at stuff that, multiple stories and detached garages and all of that. And I'm looking for the years ahead of just moving mom once and having that convenience there. So we decided to take a few days off from looking, and that's great because, just need to regroup. And I'm going to work the election day in Ohio, and some of you have worked something like that, and each state may be a little different, but in Ohio, that's like a job from 5:30 a.m. to about 10 p.m. at night when you drop off the final results of the polling location. And so I was busy, yeah. But that's the day the universe responds, right? Up pops from Zillow a house in my neighborhood, just minutes away, single story, an attached garage, all these things that we had wanted. And so I had to get myself out of the way and saying, okay, this can happen without me. Arranged for mom and my daughter and my husband to look at the house without me. Later that night, they call, and I'm at a lull on the workload, so I can talk with them. And we talk over and figure out what we're going to do for an offer. And so we put the offer out there. And, we didn't want to wait because some of you guys know and that have either looking for houses, done this, and are part of the realty organization. They're just going like that. Within 24 hours, the houses that come up for sale are gone. And it had been weeks since something in my neighborhood was available. So we went ahead and did all that without me. And and that's how it worked. And fortunately, yes, it was that house that was accepted. We just had to trust the intuition of myself, intuition of our agents, and the intuition of my daughters, my siblings, all of that coming together, trusting many people. Well, so the next day, I walked to this house that's hopefully going to be mom's. And it turns out it is going to be mom's, but of course this time I didn't know that. And so I'm walking over there and I'm making up a song and singing it about walking to grandma's house. And when I get there, I'm declaring that this property's mom's standing there looking at it, and visualizing and seeing her there, seeing us visiting and all of that. And while we were waiting for hearing back from that offer, I did get more notifications of other homes coming up. But I had to stop and say, whoa, I'm not going to look at this, because looking in that, and to me it was saying, oh, maybe not this house, let's stay open to others. And while I might have been open if it fell through, but it's like, let's not do that. Let's just clearly say, universe, you said this house, it was here, it's available, I'm going to trust that, I'm not going to look at these other places. And so that was another thing that I had to do, is to stop that worry. And I did catch myself worrying again. And what I did was like, okay, you got to stop it. Just really did. Literally put my hands up just like I am to you now and said, stop. I either am going to trust God or I'm not. And I'm choosing to trust God in this situation. So I refused to worry. And gone on about the day. But as I did that, when I said those things and made that choice and did it so consciously, that's where some of the peace sat in and came to be. And so we went, and within a day, sold her home and purchased the other, all in one day from two different locations. So I came home after having closed on both houses, come into my house so excited and say, it's done! Yeah! And as I'm taking a deep breath, ready to say another line, my husband turns before I can and said, it's begun! Mom lives in the neighborhood! And that's just a story of how I went from Mayday to Mayday, from an experience of stress and de-stress into one of acceptance and one of peace, and to celebrate what has occurred. So I'm sure during that other ideas have popped up for you. And what I would like to do is maybe, um, I'm checking on our time here and see what we have. We have about 20 minutes left together. And so I think we'll go into our activity. There's a meditation that'll begin with that too, so that'll be good. So to do our activity now, I'm going to make sure that everyone has a square piece of paper. And if you're watching online, you can do this easily. You're just going to take a piece of paper, so go find yourself a piece of paper and find something to write on if you have that in a pen. But to make a square, if you just have that 8 by 10, and we have a video we'll show you guys too about what we're going to make with this paper. But first, let me just make sure everyone has a paper. But if you have that 8 by half and 11, you're just going to fold it like that, and then you're going to cut off that little extra bit hanging on the end, or fold it and crease it and tear it off. And so I'm going to say that at this point, I'm guessing everybody has their papers. And for us to, I think the next slide has a video on it about what we're going to do with this piece of paper. And I want you just to see that so you have an idea of what's going on before we get into this activity. So let's go ahead and play that video. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so I know that was short, and I'm hoping it gave you an idea of what we're seeing. And we can go ahead and leave the slides up because we'll have some affirmations on them and things like that. So the first thing we're going to do is take a few breaths. We're going to center ourselves and ask a few questions. All right? So just take that deep breath in, centering yourself, connecting with the spirit within, and blow that breath out. And from this centered state, ask yourself, what am I struggling with? What is upsetting me? What is out of alignment with the truth? What do I wish to be different in my life? Is there anything that I want to move from a state of distress into one of celebration? From a state of worry into one of peace? Listen to what your inner voice says. And then on one side of that paper, write down what it is that you want to release. Whatever has surfaced for you as you asked yourself those questions, write down and describe that. What is it that you're struggling with? What's upsetting you? What is out of alignment? And take a few moments and write those down. So give us a little bit more time. Okay, because I'm going to assume that most of you have at least jotted a few words down and have jotted down the situation and have enough on there that you know what it is and Spirit knows what it is too. And then we're going to say together a denial. And as we do that denial, I'm going to ask you just to flip your paper over. And so as you say that, you know, whatever it is for you, whether it's fear has no power over you, sadness has no over, whatever that situation, whatever your situation, it has no power over you. And to flip that paper over. And what you have now is a blank sheet because you have flipped that paper over. And you have a blank canvas to work on. The possibilities are unlimited. It's just up to your imagination of what you can now create, that this situation no longer has power over you. You know, and it's okay if you don't know exactly what to create. You know, in my case, I just knew I wanted peace, just in a general sense. And so as these ideas come to you, I'll invite you either just to close your eyes as you listen to a few affirmations I have for you, or just to softly focus your eyes on your paper. I am open and receptive to the guidance of spirits. I intuitively know what to do. I do it. I am gentle and kind to myself. I'm especially kind and compassionate as I transform discomfort into comfort, unhappiness into happiness. I am a child of God, in whom God is well pleased. I replace negative thoughts with positive ones. I walk in faith. And as I walk in faith, my way becomes clear. I am an expression of God. I am changing my beliefs and attitudes at depth. My life is transformed. And on that note, I invite you to flip that paper up so that the writing's on the wrong side, and we're going to go through the steps that we saw in that video to create a flower. And when we're doing this, we're going to say some affirmations, and those are the three that you're seeing up there. The first one is, with God, all things are possible. So I'll invite you to take your square paper with the writing facing up, fold it in half in a triangular shape. And after you get that first triangle, you're going to open it up and fold it in half the other direction so that you have another line in your thing. And just take your time to do that. And as you're doing that, you're saying, with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. And if someone near you needs some help, take a moment and help them complete those two folds. And then you have right there, divine action is at work. Yeah, so that's the next thing that we're going to do. And we'll do that simply by taking this little corner that you saw and fold it up there and say, divine action is at work. Divine right action is at work. And do that to the other side. Divine right action is at work. And notice if any of your friends need some help, and so help them do that. Fold that little corner over and have sent divine right actions at work. And now this is the part where you flip this side so that's facing down, that side's facing down. And then you're going to take those little corners and just fold them in, saying, I express beauty. I express beauty. So hopefully you guys end up with a flower that looks like this tulip that mine has. And if you need some moments, take some time, look around, see if your friends need any help with this process. It's a little hard for me to see that if you do, but hopefully you have figured this out. And if not, here's what you can do. If it's not working for you, just take it and wad it up, and there you have another form of a flower. So it works no matter what. So if you need to, do that. That still will look cute. And so we're going to go forth with these. Through this process, I'm hoping that you've made a shift in consciousness, that you've set in motion a change, and that you've set the intention with the universe, and you've said, I want to be delivered up and out of this situation. I want out of worry into peace. We have that scripture that's on the next slide, Matthew 7:8. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds. The one who knocks, the door will be opened. So I invite you to take this flower and to enthusiastically walk up to where the basket's at and drop your flower in that basket. And as you're doing that, you're declaring, it's done. So you're excited. So come back to your seat, happy, joyous, and just free of that. So I invite you now to do that, to take the time and to put your flower into your basket that's there in your community. Yeah, in any order, just as you're led to do it. Saying, it is done. It with joy, with enthusiasm. I release and let go, right? Yeah, another releasing type ceremony. Notice too how this basket, this Mayday basket, right, comes just beauty with the different colors and the flowers that everyone has put together, that as a community, that you're creating a thing of beauty. Yeah. So it is done. Yeah. And so I invite you, we'll maybe flip to the next slide if we're not there, the one that has on it this affirmation that it has begun and it is done. So in a moment, I'm going to ask everyone to take a deep breath in and say that together, and to acknowledge what we have co-created is good. And we've, just as when God created the world, right after each creation, God took a moment and said, it is good. And so we are going to do the same thing. So let's take that deep breath in together and affirm together. It has begun and it is good. Peace be with you. And let's end this day of different ways and different ways of doing things, by saying together the prayer of protection. So together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and it is good. And so it is. Amen. Blessings.